So what should we read into this inflation data? In terms of fractions of a percent, it might not be all that far above the estimate, but it is above the estimate, and it takes us from an 11-year high to a multi-decade high on UK inflation. What does this do to the Bank of England's thought process?
Exactly. Well, it's above last month, and it's a 30-year high, as you say. It's driven by restaurants and food and furniture prices, which interestingly shows this has gone beyond energy. You heard Rishi Sunak there saying that it's a global crisis. It starts with energy, but this has gone beyond that. So it really does increase the chance that the Bank of England goes for a back-to-back hike in February, and that would be the first time we get that since 2004 in the UK.
Good morning, Lizzie. How do yesterday's labour market data factor into this decision?
Well, what we saw was that real wages were falling at the end of last year, and that's before this cost of living crunch even really peaks in April, when you get energy bills going up, taxes going up. Bloomberg Economics saw inflation peaking at 6.5% before this print came out today. So what it shows is that even though you've got record vacancies and widespread shortages, that tightness in the labour market isn't translating into pay rises across the board. So it does seem to vindicate the Bank of England's decision in December to prioritise inflation, and again it strengthens the case for a February rate rise.
You mentioned the cost of living there, Lizzie. There's been a lot of talk about that in the UK because of some things that have happened when we see inflation here, but also some things that are yet to happen. Talk us through that.
Yeah, so I mentioned the energy costs. The Resolution Foundation reckons that the number of households who can't afford their energy bills is going to rise, will triple in April, and it's the poorest households will suffer the most, because even though everybody will have a 40 to 47% increase, it'll take a bigger chunk out of the poorest households' income. It's a fifth, actually, after housing costs, according to the Joseph Rowntree Foundation. And that's a problem because millions of households are already in debt. So lots of them are not going to be able to cope unless the government steps in with immediate government support, according to those think tanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll wait to see if the government does decide to do something about this. There have been conversations, of course, between the government and energy companies, but it will be an interesting political judgment. Do they decide to target it as at those that are the most needy, or to give some kind of relief more generally?